We're starting Be'ezras Hashem Siman Samach Ches of Vayoel Moshe. A lot of Maamar in this Siman. So he says, V'hinei hamaharsim. All these Siman, by the way, he's busy answering up different kashas that Sionim asked. The Rabbi used to stand in his base medrash every day, and people would come home from work and they'd tell him what they heard. When he was writing Vayoel Moshe, he said, okay, I'm going to put that into the Sefer too. Because he wanted to make sure to answer up everything. So, Siman Samach Ches. V'hinei hamaharsim lakhu geula me'atzmam. The Sionim took a geula for themselves, al yidei hishtadlus maguna eitzel ha'umois, because they campaigned in the UN. First they campaigned by the British to get the Balfour Declaration, and then they were mishtadled by the UN.
It was a miracle that the UN was in favor.
And they did a hishtadlus maguna, a low down type of activism, eitzel ha'umois, lasois k'ma'asehem. Now these words, lasois k'ma'asehem, I didn't get a real shot in them, but it could be that he means that he wants that the Tzionim want that the nations should do according to their acts. Meaning
right,
they
should favor Israel as theirs.
So the nation should dance along with the Tzionim and try to also support it. That's what I think it means. So Toilin Atzmam, the Tzionim are basing themselves be'ilan gadol, on a big tree, on a very famous person, Haramban Zal, B'Shir Shirim. The Ramban in his commentary on Shiur Shirim shekosav sheberishyon malchei ha'umois ube'ezrasam yelchu l'Eretz Yisrael, that with the permission of the kings of the nations and with their assistance, the Jews will go back to Eretz Yisrael. K'diksiv, as it says in the pasuk Yishaya Samach Vav, ve'heviu es kol achechem min chol Hashem, that the nations will bring your brothers back as a present to Hashem, as a gift to Hashem. Okay. And just to realize what's going on here, take a look at the Drishas Tzion, Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch Kalisher.
He brought this down?
1862, this raya was already brought. Take a look on page 14 on the photo sheets, and you're going to see that he misquotes it. And the Rebbe is going to fix that up. Yedidi Akoire, my dear reader, Haser Mata HaHergel Me'alecha, take off this thing that you're accustomed to saying, that everyone is so used to saying, Asher Hamoin Am Yachshavun, that most people think, Ki Kerega Yaria Af Yatzriach Mashiach Sikein. We're going to hear all of a sudden a big shofar, the Yizka b'shofar Gadol, the Harish Kol Yoshvei Tevel. Everyone's going to hear it in the whole world, and that's how the Gula is going to come.
Right, the Tzionim say it's going to be like a sunrise, like what the Yerushalmi.
Right, so take a look. Say, in a few Simanim, we're going to talk about that. Yeah. Anyway, but Loi Kain, it's not so, says Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch Kalisher. Ki Reishis HaGeula, the beginning of the Gula is going to be Al Yidei Hisoirus Ruach Nedivim. It's going to be because of generous people like Rothschild. I think he sent this letter to Rothschild also.
Yeah, they're the famous rich family.
Ve'al Yidei Ratzon HaMalchus, and also through the goodwill of the nations. The Kabetz Ma'at Mine Pezurei Yisrael, to gather up the scattered Jews La'admas Kodesh, to their holy land. Kamasha Kosev Isho Elokim Rabbeinu Agadol Ramban Zal.
Oh, he's Isho Elokim.
Now he's quoting the Ramban. Al Apostiko Elef L'Chosh Shloimeh, which is near the end of Shiur Shirim. But Biyuru Aisham Vizel Shainai. Here's the Ramban. Reishis HaGeula, the beginning of the Geula. Now pay attention, because we're going to see how this is misquoted. Reishis HaGeula, the beginning of the Geula Hasida, of the future Geula, Tia, it will be Al Pi Rishyon HaMalchus, through the permission of the nations. V'yeh Kitzas Kibbutz Goliath, there'll be somewhat of a Kibbutz Goliath. V'achar kach, and then later Yosef Hashem Yisbarach Shenis Yad, and then Hashem will come and bring the rest of the Yidden back. K'dichsiv v'shaveh shvuscha, in the pasuk in Nitzavim, he'll bring back the Yidden. V'achar kach v'shaveh kibetzcha mikol ha'amim. Then he'll gather you from all the nations. Ad kan dvarav. That's the end of the Ramban on Shiur Shirim. V'chein kasev ha'radak. And so says the Radak, the Tehillim Kuf Mem Vav, the Mizmor Halali Nafshi, the Mizmor that goes, Halali Nafshi Hashem, Al Pasuk She'ein Loy Teshua. Don't be boteach on a person that has no Teshua, has no salvation. So he says, V'zel Lashon Yakil Hashem Levadoi HaTeshua. Only Hashem has salvation. V'hu Yisoy V'venu Al Yidei B'nei Adam. But Hashem makes it happen through people. K'moishe Sivev Galus Bavel Al Yidei Koresh. Just like he brought back the Yidden from Galus Bavel through Koresh. V'chein La'asid. And so in the future, Yisabev Geulas Yisrael Al Yidei Malchei Agoyim. He'll cause the redemption to take place through the kings of the nations. She'oyer Es Rucham L'Shalcham. He'll He'll be Ma'or them, he'll arouse them to...
Except it's not like the Ber Hagolah said, who said that the readers out to eat Torah twice to show it won't be like it was.
Now I just want you to see the real thing. This is Rav Kalisher copying it over. Here's the real Ramban, and by the way, it's not really the Ramban. It's really Rabbeinu Ezra or Rabbeinu Azriel.
Why you say the Ramban for?
It was miyuchas to the Ramban. People thought it was the Ramban for hundreds of years, so that's why people call it the Ramban. But really, research by people discovered that it wasn't the Ramban. It was Rabbeinu Ezra. Anyway, this is the edition that's published by Rabbi Chaim Dov Shavel, the one who publishes all the Rambans, with the Hagais. So here it is. He says, "V'omer v'habit." No, after that, the end of the line. V'achar kain yavoyu hanafutzos hamafuzaros beinu amim. That the Jews, they're scattered among nations, will come. V'samu lohem rosh echad. They'll make themselves a leader. Hu Mashiach ben David. Shahaya imah. This is page 8, by the way. Shahaya imahem begalus. That Mashiach was with them in Galus. Uverishyon malchei umois v'ezrasam yelchu l'Eretz Yisrael. And with the permission of the nations, they'll go up to Eretz Yisrael. So what is he saying? He's saying that Mashiach will come first. They'll appoint him as Mashiach. He'll be recognized Mashiach. Then, with the permission of the nations, they'll go to Eretz Yisrael. Alright? So you see the chiluk. He's saying it's not before Mashiach, it's after Mashiach.
Right, so even if when they have to go permitted, we'll have to have Mashiach declare it first.
Right. Right. And not only that, just to show how far it goes, I copied over on page 9 here. This is from Rabbi Yaakov Ziesberg, the honest Zionist who wrote a sefer to answer up a lot of the kashas of Vayoel Moshe. So here he brings down this Ramban on Shir Shirim, and then he brings that Rabbi Yosef took from the Ramban the exact opposite of what Rav Kalisher took from it. Rav Kalisher is taking from it that before Mashiach comes, there's going to be a kibbutz galius for the nations. Rabbi Yosef learns it that Mashiach, he had the correct version. So the correct version says that when Mashiach comes, he's going to get permission from the nations. Meaning Mashiach's not going to go with his guns blazing into Eretz Yisrael. He's going to first get permission to go. So he says the Shalosh Shevuos is still noeg bisman hazeh. That's what Rabbi Yosef says. Take a look. Ha'achroinim heviu. He means Rabbi Yosef. Sheharamban asher chidesh es mitzvahs yeshivas Eretz Yisrael. The same Ramban that everybody knows, the Ramban in the Hakdama to the Sefer Mitzvah says that there's a mitzvah of Yeshiva Eretz Yisrael, right? He's the one who's the biggest proponent of that mitzvah. But afilu hu, even he, soiver shashvuas noegas la'alacha. Even he agrees that the 3 oaths are still in effect today. Even when Mashiach comes, the 3 oaths are going to be in effect. And therefore only with the permission is Mashiach allowed to go up. Kach kasav hagoyin Rabbi Yosef harei shegam Ramban maskim. You see that even the Ramban agrees shafilu Mashiach ben David b'tchilas iskalusay yavay ach v'rak b'rishyon hu'umah. So only come with the permission of the nations b'li lavlos b'chayma, and he won't go up by force u'v'lila hisgaras b'umah. So not with war against the nations. Even when Mashiach comes, there won't be any wars, according to this Ramban, which is really Rabbeinu Ezra. And
who wrote this book?
This is Nefesh Ada by Rabbi Yaakov Ziesberg. He's a settler in Eretz Yisrael, and he gives shiurim, and he wrote them down and made a sefer to kind of like slug up Vayoel Moshe. But he goes through it very honestly. He says what he agrees with, what he disagrees with. But this is a very interesting piece he brings down. This is not in the Shalosh Shevuos of Rabbi Yosef, by the way. It's in a like a
definitely.
Rabbi
Yosef allowed saying Hallel, and he even compared the miracle to Tziyas Mitzrayim.
Yeah, so that's the one that everybody knows. Everybody knows what's printed in his Shuvos. But this is printed in Tchumen. You see what it says?
I never read.
It's an article called Mesiras Shtachim Meretz Yisrael B'Makom Pikuach Nefesh, giving back the territories to save lives, and he was in favor of it. And the reason he says is because the Shalosh Shevuos is still noeg even after Hakamas Medina, even though he agrees with the Medina. But he says that the Shalosh Shevuos is still noeg bisman hazeh. So therefore, when it comes to giving back land, and they're going to fight for that land, you have to give back the land to save lives. Anyway, that's how the Ramban, the Rabbeinu Ezra really is supposed to be understood. Okay, so now let's get back to Vayoel Moshe, how he exposes this misquote. Anybody who has a brain in his skull, and he sees the Ramban inside, he sees that this Rav Kalisher who quotes this Ramban is nothing. Reishis, he says, first of all, Yosad Ramban Zaldvara. The Ramban bases his words ala kasav b'Yishaya Samach Vav, on the pasuk that's in Yishaya Samach Vav, The end of Yishai, the Haftorah for Rosh Chodesh, by the way. Vayoel Moshe, they'll bring back all your brothers from Galus. Umavur Sham B'Kroi. You see from the Pesukim that this is talking about after the war of Gog and Magog. Sheikanu Kulam, that all the nations are going to be humbled before Hashem, v'yiskabtzu mikol hagoyim, and they'll be gathered from all the nations, all to umikol halashonis, from all the different languages, lahagid kvoida yisbarach shemai, bagoyim, to announce the greatness of Hashem to all the nations. Al goydel ha'ois hanasa, because of the great miracles that took place in this war. And then the Ramban says, because of this, is kol ha'chechem. Then the pasuk in Yishai says that they'll bring back the Jews. Meaning that after this all happens, that's when they're going to bring back the Jews. They'll bring the assimilated Jews that were mixed in bein ha'amim, among the nations that didn't go up originally with Mashiach. They'll bring all those extra leftover Jews back. They'll bring it as a gift to the king Mashiach in Eretz Yisrael. The ayin sham b'psukim u'b'mefarshim. See the psukim in Yishai and see the mefarshim. Shal korchach shezekoy al achar biyas HaMashiach. It's obvious that this is going after the coming of Mashiach. The eino medaber b'zeh me'etzem ha'gula heichtiyah. It's not talking about the gula and the way it will proceed. It's talking after the gula. And just to prove this, I brought the psukim here on page 12 of the sheets. Yishai, at the end of Yishai, it says, Ki vo'esh Hashem nishpat. Hashem is going to fight with fire, and He's going to punish people with fire. There'll be many killed by Hashem at that time. And then it goes on and it speaks about it, and it says the nations will in Pasuk 19 it says V'samti vohem ois, I'll do miracles with them. V'shilachti mehem pleitim el hagoyim. Goyim will run out to the faraway islands and they'll tell all these miracles over to everyone else. He says V'higidu es kvoyi bagoyim. Then they'll bring back the Jews as a mincha Hashem. Right? And then also, page 10, look at the Mefarshim on Yeshaya, the Radak in particular. Radak says, Ve'eviu Yisrael, they'll bring back the Jews Shahayu Nisharim Be'im Arachoikim, that were left in the faraway islands. Shaloi Alu Machem, those Jews who didn't go up with the original coming of Mashiach. Oisem Hagoyim Asher Heim B'Soicham, those goyim who live with them and those islands, maybe it's faraway places like, who knows, Japan, right, Indonesia, India,
Australia, New Zealand.
When they hear the great, amazing things that happened, she'asa hakel that Hashem did b'machne Gog and Magog. He says clearly, he's talking after Gog and Magog. Then Yaviu Yisrael b'susim u'v'rechev. They'll bring with the Jews with horses and chariots back there to Israel. Who knows what that means in today's language? Anyway. So, you see that it's going after that. Okay, weiter. Vayoel Moshe. The Oid, another kasha, honor of Kalasher. Haloi, mevur sham takef b'divrei Ramban. The Ramban himself says right afterwards, on Shir Shirim, shekasav atam sheyeh melech HaMashiach ani v'roichav al chamor. He says that Mashiach is going to be a poor man riding a donkey. Okay? So why is that? Why does he have to be a poor man riding a donkey? So the Ramban says, remes, this is a hint. Ki loy v'kashtam u'v'charbam yirshu aretz. Not with their sword and not with their bow will they inherit the land. V'loy b'sus v'rechev, they won't come and get the land back with horses and chariots. Ki im b'ratzna boire, only with the will of Hashem.
Because the donkey is not used for warfare ever. And it says the Gemara Pesach about the 6 things about the horse. And all these things are found in the Rasha.
Really?
6 things. The horse loves war, it loves nus, it eats a lot, extracts little, it sleeps little, and rebels against its master. All the 6 things are found in Rasha. So that's why a horse is used for war, because it does all these 6 things.
Where does it say that, by the way?
The Gemara Pesach, I'm close to the end. As if before, so that's why a horse is used for war, because all these things we should have in them.
Okay, so therefore, Kim beratzna boire, only with the will of Hashem, sheyapil v'yashpil kol ha'umois lifneim, that Hashem will throw down, He'll humble all the nations before them, v'yichrati rechav me'Ephraim, and I'll take away the chariots from Ephraim, meaning the Jews won't have chariots. They won't need any tanks.
Because Ephraim were the bigger sinners, who are more into warfare.
Because you see, Ugvurasam Bashem, their mightiness will only be with Hashem, uvishmoy yishalchu, and only with His name they will go. And I copied off this on page 11, but I'm not going to read it because it's pretty much just quoted in here. But that's the Ramban. It's 2 pages later than the other Ramban on Shir Shirim. Okay. Now, umavur bazeh. We see from this Ramban beferish explicitly shadai toizal shelo yiyeh hageula al yidei shum hishtadlus TV, that the redemption, even the Mashiach's redemption, won't be through any physical effort, natural effort. The afloy tzarchu lichlei, they won't even need weapons. El b'maimer Hashem, only through the word of Hashem. V'alkein al korchach. It must be shagam mashakasav koidim, that what he says before, sheyeh be'ezra se'umos, that it will happen with the help of the nations. Ein oyala inyan nisi. It's only a miraculous thing. It's not just going to the UN and bothering them and twisting their arms until they say yes. U'kamashakasav Rambam of Pirush Mishnah b'chelik. The Rambam on Pirush Mishnah also says it in the end of Sanhedrin. Uveyigeres Teiman, that we quoted before, Shiyashlimu im Melech HaMashiach kol umais, ki yisba'alu mipanav, that all the nations will make peace with the Mashiach because they'll be afraid of him. So it won't be like a war, Mashiach fighting against the nations. It will be like they'll all go with him. They'll all listen to him. Okay, v'chein kosta b'sefer hayad b'perek ches milchus tshuva. The Rambam in the 8th parak of Hilchus Tshuva. Now I have it written here. This is a typo. It's supposed to be the 9th parak Hilchus Tshuva. Parak tes. All the nations will come to listen to him. They'll be honored to Hashem. That even the nations will come to help. That's what the Ramban really means. The nations coming to help will be a kavod to Hashem. Kamash Kasav Chazal, Medrash Rabbi Dvarim, Parsha Gimel Siman Vav, and Shivcha Shel Matronisa Bizman Shehi Miskalesis Mikroy V'Seha. That the noble woman is not praised the most from her relatives. The praise is greater, it proves more if she gets praised by faraway people. Right, well that's just because of Gaiva. You're not supposed to praise yourself. But even, let's say your family members praise you, it doesn't mean much. Every family member...
All these things, Zar and Nachri, are not your family members. They're all further from you.
Oh, okay.
Zar is in a certain way, and Nachri is from another land. As a Maamar, Zar and Nachri.
All right, if you want to say, okay, so that's the point here, that when the nations understand that this is the Geula and they come to help, that's going to prove something. That's the Chachma that we don't. That's the whole Indian of the Shalosh Shevuos, that we don't have a Medina Bizman Hazeh, because Bizman Hazeh, the nations are not ready for it. They don't believe in it. They're not going to help it. They're fighting against it. It's obvious this is not what David wants. It says Gam ef shalonu leida hatamim. Furthermore, to understand this whole thing of the nations helping out, we don't understand the reasons. The things they're going to be after Mashiach comes. We don't even know how it's going to happen. The things are hidden. We don't know in advance how the things are going to proceed. This is clear. There won't be any sort of geula before Mashiach comes. In many places, without number, it says this. I brought many of them before. Now we have another source to say that b'moisa Mashiach it's going to be peaceful, and it's going to be. It's not going to happen before Mashiach comes. That's really his point here. She says like this: that when the nations think that this Jewish people will never have a kingdom again, and they won't be redeemed from this exile, and all the wise people of the world will say that, that's when Mashiach is going to come. So the Rambam's saying, basically, it's not going to be a situation like before Mashiach comes, everyone's going to recognize, okay, the Jewish people need their own country, let's bring them back,
Besides, it's not even a guy's chiyuv to know that there will be a Geula, because you know what? A guy not to learn Torah as is. Right. And all they have to know is Shimon and Noach, and that's it. So who are they even trying to be mechuyev a guy to know? A guy had no chiyuv to know this. And so Rabbi, it's even been a teacher to them.
They're going to think that there's no hope for the Jews, and then Mashiach is going to come.
The way it should be that we want a guy to stay as far as possible learning Torah.
Umevur gam begemara Sanhedrin daf tzadik ches. The Gemara says there, Amud Aleph, Ein ben David ba ad shetich l'malchus hazal Yisrael. That Mashiach is not going to come until the low kingdom is gone from the Jewish people. From Pirush Rashi Zal, Rashi says, Shaloi tehei lohem shum shultanis l'Yisrael afilu shultanis kala v'dala. That the Jewish people will not have any government, even a low and poor one. Okay? V'imkein oisa malchus hazala, this low kingdom, the state of Israel, shekoyim malchus beis David, me'akeves bias ben David. It prevents the coming of Mashiach. Because until that kingdom is gone, until that state is gone, Mashiach can't come. Now, just to understand this better, there's a lot of talk about this statement. By the way, the Rebbe brought it in the Hakdama, and we once read it in there, and the Rebbe said he's going to bring it in the Sefer. Well, here's where he brings it. Now, the problem is like this. The Tzionim raised a very serious problem with this Rambam, with this Gemara in Rashi. Take a look, page 13 of Maamar Koimis. Really, actually, first look at page 1. Page 1 is the Gemara Sanhedrin. So, it's highlighted here. Rabbi Chama Rabbi Chanina, Ein ben David ba ad shetich l'malchus hazal Yisrael shenemar. He brings a pasuk. V'cheras hazalzalim b'mazmerois. He will cut down the vines with pruning shears. Okay? And afterwards it says the Mashiach will come. And that's the Rashi the Rebbe quoted. Now take a look in the pasuk inside, page 13, Yeshaya Yud Ches, pasuk Hey. Okay, v'charas hazalzelim b'mazmerois. He'll cut the vines with the pruning shears, v'yas and the tishois and the roots. Heisir heisas. He'll uproot them. Okay, take a look at the Targum. He says v'yiktol shiltoine amamaya b'charba. He'll kill the rulers of the nations with the sword. And here are the nations. V'yas takfeon yade v'yebar, and he'll take away their strength.
But that's Mashiach. It's anyhow not going to be.
Right. So you see an interesting thing here. Okay, we see that this pasuk is talking about cutting down the nations, not cutting down a Jewish state. So what they want to say is that the Gemara didn't mean that that doesn't mean ad shetich l'malchus hazal mi Yisrael, that the Jewish people shouldn't have a kingdom, but rather ad shetich l'malchus hazal, that the nation's kingdom should not be ruling over the Jewish people. You know, there's al shetich l'malchus hazal, the low kingdom should stop ruling over the Jews. That's how they learn it. So they learn punt fakert, that Mashiach is not going to come until we break out of Galus. Okay. And now, what's interesting here is, take a look at the Mefarshim on Tanakh. It's not just the Targum, it's also the Radak. And I'm not going to read it now, there's not enough time, but take a look at the Radak. And also, even Rashi himself on the Tanakh says this. Rashi says, Karas v'katzav kloimar yarog asarim v'shalitim shel goig v'chayaloisav v'oizrav. That he'll kill the Gog and Magog. Right? Okay. And Mitzudas, all the Mefarshim say the same shot. So, what I think is that this is Pashup shot, and the Gemara is learning a different shot. The Gemara doesn't always go with the Pashup shot. The Gemara in Sanhedrin is going with a more al pi derech drush. And Rashi on Sanhedrin is explaining the Gemara the way he thinks the Gemara means, not the way the pasuk means. In
that was shot. The way of Rashi to do that.
Right.
Rashi brought down before Shalosh, made him very simple for anyone to understand.
So that's why it's a fallacy to go to Yeshaya and look up all the Mefarshim and say, okay, that's what the Gemara means. Because it could be that what they say on Yeshaya is not the same thing as what the Gemara understood Yeshaya to mean. Okay. By the way, the Marsha also learns like the Mefarshim in Yeshaya, but the Marsha doesn't bring them down. So that's interesting. The Marsha just says it on his own, but he doesn't say that that's what the Mefarshim say, because that's not a raya. The fact that Mefarshim say something on the Navi is not a raya. That's the shot in the Gemara. Okay. Just finish the paragraph here, and then we'll have to stop for today, I guess. That low kingdom, that state, it's preventing Mashiach from coming. If we do find such places that it says that the nations will help out, a few places, that the nations will help, that's coming talking about after Mashiach comes. Now we have no way of knowing what's going to happen afterwards. Until Mashiach comes and he explains it to us. But for sure, before Mashiach comes, it's not going to happen.